Hey, fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor live on SIFTD.net. If you are a Patreon patron, thank you. If you are a YouTube subscriber, thank you so much for your patronage. If you are doing those things or not, please try to remember to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. That way, Shane gets paid from Amazon. It costs you nothing. You're already paying for it, so you're sticking it to Amazon. Do that because, again, it's free money. You've already paid for it. You might as well let Amazon fund this show, and that allows Shane to keep making these videos. So let's see what's this week's question. We've had Sony raising prices, and they raised price for the second time on PS5 by about $50. It's been in Canada and a bunch of European countries. PlayStation Plus in those territories again. This is kind of an odd move because, we're now in the 5th year of PlayStation 5. Typically, prices come down over time, and this time they're going up. What is going on? I don't know 100%, but I can tell you what I suspect. I think that the threat of U.S. tariffs on Sony production that comes into the U.S. is a serious problem for Sony, and their choice is to destroy PS5 sales in the US. Chinese production, 90% roughly of PlayStation 5s are assembled in China, 10% Japan. They can ship all of Japanese production to the US if they want, and that will cut the tariff rate from, depending on which month you're looking at, 145% to 10% for a couple of months, and then it goes back up to, I think the Japanese tariff is in the 25 or 26% range. But that's not very efficient. I mean, they sell units in Japan and they make them there, so it's an incremental shipping cost to save a crazy tariff. Rather than destroy sales in the U.S. market, I think their plan is to spread the pain to everybody. And that is another reflection on how stupid tariffs are. I want to say that I think there are 22 living Nobel Prize winners in economics, 22 for 22. They all say that Trump's tariffs are idiotic. This is not a Republican or Democrat issue. Trump is an idiot. It is not anti-Republican. Every Republican should be against it, but it's a cult and they're afraid of him. The only way to overcome price increases everywhere is to write your congressman. But prices are going up everywhere as far as Sony's concerned. Interestingly, over the weekend, we got an announcement from Nintendo that they're going to take pre-orders at the $449 price point in the US. The reason that they're doing that is because they've already shipped 2 or 3 million units to the US. So they've got units sitting here that aren't going to have tariffs on them. But they also said in their pre-order announcement, they reserve the right to raise prices later as market conditions dictate. So get a Switch 2 early because the price is either going to go to $489 if there's a 10% tariff, if it comes in the next 2 months from Vietnam, or to $595 if it comes in after 2 or 3 months from now from Vietnam, or to $905 if it comes in from China. So again, Nintendo is saying $449 and they'll adjust accordingly. Sony is saying we're going to screw everybody to make up for the U.S. president, just completely irrationally imposing tariffs on everything. And the impact is prices go up on you. That is a tax. It's no different than a sales tax. And the money flows to the U.S. government, and it's going to hurt U.S. workers, it's going to hurt U.S. consumers, it's going to hurt international consumers. Sony is saying we're going to spread the pain everywhere because of this irrational person's conduct. If we got rid of tariffs, none of this would be happening. So the answer to the question is, why is Sony doing it? The answer, because they don't want to screw everybody in the U.S. and keep from selling everything in the U.S. If, in fact, they added 145% tariff to let's call it $500, because I can do the math in my head, a $500 PlayStation, the price would go up by about $700, so it'd be a $1,200 PlayStation. No one's going to buy one at $1,200. And so, again, they figured rather than that, they'll just raise the price everywhere in the world, do everything they can to ship low tariff units here, And my guess is the price will be around $600 here. I still think that's going to screw sales. Write your congressman, call your congressman, just leave a voicemail. They register it. It doesn't matter if your congressman is a Republican or a Democrat. Republicans feel the same way about tariffs as Democrats. They're bad. Normally, component costs come down over time. Normally, you would see, this many years in, the PlayStation would be priced around 300. But, historically, what we've seen is back in the PS2 days, they cut the price every year or so. In PS3, PS4 days, what they did was give you a bigger hard drive, pack in more stuff, give you bigger bundles, and not really cut price over time. But you started getting, you went from 60 gigabytes to a terabyte to a 2 terabyte hard drive, stuff like that. They're going to keep doing that, but now the price is going up on the same unit. That is tariff driven, pure and simple. To summarize though, Sony hasn't yet raised the price in the US. And why is that? Are they screwing everybody else and favoring the US? Well, so far, yes. So far, they haven't imported any units in since Trump raised, imposed tariffs. When they start imposing tariffs and they start shipping units in, so they're actually going to be collecting somewhere between $100 and $500 tariff on each PlayStation imported, they're going to have to raise price here. So the question is just how much. And the reason that they haven't done it in the US yet is they have to wait and see exactly which tariff applies to which country. Remember, Trump did 10% across the board. Then he lumped on what he called the reciprocal tariff, where Japan was 24%, I think, Vietnam 46%, China initially in the high 80s or whatever, I can't remember, but it went to 105, and there's 85, then it went to 105, 125, 145. That's all happened since April 1st. So, in 3 weeks, we've had like 5 different tariffs on China. Then he suspended the reciprocal tariffs and reverted back to 10% for Japan and Vietnam, which is where half the switches are made. And nobody knows what he's doing. And he talks about countries cutting deals. Vietnam publicly stated they hoped the rate would get down to 22 to 28%. Who knows what it's going to end up with? So the reason they haven't yet raised in the US is nobody knows what the tariff rate is. It's going to happen here. And like I said, the price of a PlayStation is going to go up from $449 or whatever it is to something between $700 and $1,200, just depending on where they source it. What they're trying to do is spread the pain across all PlayStation users and make people in Europe pay, even though there's no tariff there. Make people in Australia pay, even though there's no tariff there. Make people eventually in Japan pay, even though there's no tariff there, because of Trump. So they're gonna raise price here, and that they can't help it. They're not gonna import units here, pay a $700 tariff, and not pass it on to consumers. That is not possible. They just won't sell them here. So most likely, I don't even think they'll sell them at a loss, to be honest with you. I think what they're going to try to do is sell them for break even here. So they'll cut their profit on the unit and try to keep sales because they know they get lifetime value from software sales. But I don't think that's a sustainable business model. The real problem with tariffs, aside from the fact that they raise price and their attacks on consumers, is that you can't count on them to be lasting unless they are imposed as part of a law. Congress has to pass a law. If Congress said there is a 50% tariff on China, everybody could plan around that and they could shift their production to another country. But if it's Trump saying, hey, today it's 85%, the next day 105, the next day 125, the next day 145, and I'm not kidding, he really did that. How do you plan? Is it 165 tomorrow? Is it 300 tomorrow? Is it 0 tomorrow? We don't know. NVIDIA is going to build a plant here. Well, guess what? NVIDIA sells a freaking Blackwell chip for $4,000. It costs $200 to make. So yeah, instead of paying a tariff of $6,000, so that have to charge 10, they're going to make that $200 chip here, and it's going to cost them $300. Of course they are. It doesn't work that way with PlayStations. They don't have a 90% margin the way an NVIDIA chip does. They have a 10% margin or 15, so they can't afford to do it. The Switch has a 35% margin, just to be clear. So Nintendo can afford it a little more, but again, on a $449 price, that means the cost is around $300, $310. They can't give up more than $150, and why would they? So when the tariff goes up to $900 for a Switch, sure, they can give away their 150 margin and sell it to you for 750, but why would they? So again, this is idiotic because you don't know how long it's going to last. Bottom line is tariffs bad. Call your congressman, Republican or Democrat. Just have a unified voice that you think they're bad. And to be honest with you, Trump is wrong. 22 Nobel Prize winning economists are right. This isn't even academic. I am not giving you an opinion. This is not the vast majority, the 100% majority of the best economists in the world say this is bad. So trust me, it's bad. This is like saying the sun is coming up tomorrow. It's not an opinion, it's happening. Tariffs bad. Thank you for joining us on Pachter Factor Live. This is me signing off to my fellow babies, and I appreciate anyone who is a Patreon patron or a YouTube subscriber. You are keeping Shane in chips so that he can continue to gamble on this show and hope that he can make some money. So please keep that up. If you are doing those things or not, please remember to link your Twitch Prime account to your Amazon Prime account. You have to redo that each month. So if you haven't done it in a while, please check out the instructions in the show description below and link your Twitch Prime account to your Amazon Prime account. It's 3 clicks and done. If you do that, Amazon pays Shane. You don't pay anything. You're already a Prime member. It's part of your Prime membership. Let Amazon pay Shane. Stick it to them. It's free. Take advantage. You have a free benefit you're not taking advantage of. So click now and hit me up on Blue Sky. I'm not going to Twitter anymore. Hit me up on Blue Sky and give me a shout out and tell me that you, in fact, did link your Twitch Prime account to your Amazon Prime account, and I will give you a shout out.